What's going on, YouTube? It's Bluntzillavideo back with another installment of Cinema Collection, whatever you want to call it. This is it. And the first two movies I want to talk about I actually don't have here tonight in the basement. They're actually at my dad's place. And the first movie is 12 Angry Men, directed by Sidney Lumet, which is a classic. It's got Henry Fonda, E.G. Marshall. It's got the guy from Psycho that was the detective Arbogast. A couple of other really familiar faces that I don't know their names of, but I enjoy their acting. It's a spot-on performance all around the table, no pun intended. And I just love this film. I love the book. I actually got the book down here somewhere. I read it in school, and it's great. It's so good. If you love courtroom dramas, this is essentially an hour and a half of deliberation, and it's to see what's going to happen. What's the fate of this young man who's done a horrible crime, or at least it looks like he has. So I'm not going to spoil the film because you just need to watch it. It's one of those types of films. So definitely check out 12 Angry Men, directed by Sidney Lumet. I believe it's from 1957, but I could be wrong. It's definitely one of my favorite films of the 50s, right up there with Godzilla, and some of the Hammer films and shit like that. And there's a lot of good stuff from the 50s out there, but there's actually some stuff out there that I'm not the biggest fan of. Like, for a while there, I was kind of hooked on those Mill Creek sets and, getting a shitload of fucking movies for cheap and all that stuff. And then you kind of, now that I've sort of started to be, another evolution in my film going experience, I've kind of trying to sort like the not like the exploitation film, but like the B film. And what I mean by that is like your giant like women movies and like because truth be told, out of those types of films, I'm a fan of like The Blob, The Thing, The Fly, and that's pretty much it for that stuff. Other than like some of the more serious films, I believe like It Conquered the World, The Day the Earth Stood Still. There is quite a few that I do enjoy, but I've seen some stinkers like what was it, the Giant Shrews or the Killer Shrews and the fucking Wasp Woman. These are catalog films that you see on any fucking like Roger Corman 3-pack basically. And I mean, what do you expect? These movies were made for a shoestring budget or on a shoestring budget, and it shows. But we're lucky to have what we have out there. But I'm definitely finding myself looking for like more and more classic film, and I think the box or the sets or the films I'm about to talk about after I talk about this next film that I actually don't have down here, yeah, there's some good shit in there. But anyways, the next film I want to talk about is Bones from 2001, directed by Ernest Dickerson, starring Snoop Dogg, Khalil Kane, the dude, I'm blanking on his name right now, but it's Pinky from Friday, if that helps. Great horror film. I mean, the thing is about this movie, now that I watch it like as like more quote unquote seasoned moviegoer, I just think some of it is kind of sloppy in there, and I think like there could have been more done with Jimmy Bones on screen, because there is some good. He's got a couple of kills and whatnot, but for the most part, it's kind of like just these fucking Khalil Kane running around a bunch of clowns trying to make this nightclub happen. And you get Snoop Dogg in maybe the last half an hour, and then you kind of get a little bit more of the backstory. I mean, I wish the whole film was about Snoop Dogg being in the 70s like the player, or like the neighborhood, the man in the neighborhood, basically. I think that would be great, but I don't know, maybe one day. I think Snoop Dogg, I've only seen him act in a few films, like say like The Wash, Bones, of course. He's actually got his own horror anthology, Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror, which isn't half bad in its own right. I'm trying to think. He was in that Soul Plane film. I can't really name that many other films he's had an important role in. I know he was in Old School. He sang one of Eric B. and Rakim's songs, Paid in Full. He does a cover of that, which is really cool to listen to, because that's one of my favorite fucking songs of all time, right up there with like Hold by KRS-One. Like, it's the same kind of like, I love songs about where they're trying to like make money, you know what I mean? So Bones, definitely a fucking good film, but not as good as I remember from when I was a kid, but still worth a watch. A worthy slasher in my eyes of the early 2000s. I believe the film is actually dedicated to Jack Hill. I forgot to mention Pam Grier's in the film, who of course is Coffee, Sheba Baby, Foxy Brown, Jackie Brown, like Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think that's it for Bones. That's all I can really like. I don't know. I just wasn't that into it this time. When I was a kid, I was like sitting there. I wanted to have a butterfly knife. I finally got one. I had it for about a fucking day and a half. Then I sold it to my friend because it was like, okay, why the fuck do I have this? I'm not gonna try. Like, it was ridiculous. But we're gonna get into the movies that I actually have down here. And the first film is a film that I watched the other night. My girl bought me this film, and it's Animal Factory, starring Edward Furlong. What's his name? Willem Dafoe. Sorry, it's got Danny Trejo. It's got a bunch of like familiar faces that you know. It's directed by Steve Buscemi, like I said, and it's quite the prison film. I will say that. And there's a very I think most prison films, it kind of comes with the territory, the quote unquote prison rape scene. It's not as brutal as, say, American Me, but it's definitely disturbing. And I think the thing that makes it more disturbing is the perpetrator is actually Tom Arnold and the victim is Edward Furlong. So if you put those two together, and it was hard to watch almost. I was like, oh, this is fucked. Like, I've seen some insane scenes. Like, there's a film called I think it's called Dog Pound, and it's like a Canadian prison film where it's like teenage offenders. There's a fucking hell of a scene in there that is just fucked up and hurts to watch. It's gross, and the aftermath of it all is even more fucked. But my God, Animal Factory, put out by Arrow Video, they did a hell of a job. Not that many special features on this disc, but it was great. I mean, I first watched this film on IFC or HBO or one of those fucking channels back in like probably the 2010-ish era, and just was always like, what is this movie? Like, what is this movie? It's got the guy from fucking Boondock Saints and he's bald head. Like, what is this? And it's cool to finally get to sit down and rewatch it. So Animal Factory is definitely a must see for me. The next film that Kayla bought me was I believe a giallo called The Iguana with the Tongue of Fire, and it's directed by Ricardo Freda. And it's got a hell of a lot of special features on here. I think it is from 1971. So, some Italian goodness from the 70s. Like, the cover looks insane. I don't know, man. I feel like every time I watch one of these Italian films or fucking Japanese films from, say, like the 70s, it just, I get my balls blown off, man, because, like, the skill and talent that goes into some of these films in terms of special effects and the camera movement. Like, that's one thing people, I know Citizen Kane is known as one of like the movie in terms of like creating a whole way of filmmaking, modern filmmaking, but some of these older flicks, man, they got some shit to them. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I don't really know anything about it, so I'm not going to try to sound like professional, and I've actually never heard of Ricardo Freda until I seen this, but it looks like it looks set in Dublin. A rather surprising giallo setting. Iguana opens audaciously with an acid-throwing, razor-wielding maniac brutally slaying a woman in her own home. The victim's mangled corpse is discovered in a limousine owned by a Swiss ambassador, and a police investigation is launched. But when the murdering continues and the ambassador claims diplomatic immunity, tough ex-cop John Norton is brought in to find the killer. Okay, so it looks like we got like a Lethal Weapon 2 type scenario where, if you've seen Lethal Weapon 2, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Made fun, of course, famously in Family Guy. But there's this guy from South Africa who's a total scumbag. Not to say that South Africans are scumbag, but this particular one is. And he's got like his whole little posse of fucking pussy boys and shit. But he claims diplomatic immunity, so nothing can happen to him. So I'm looking forward to this. I kind of got Lethal Weapon 2 in my head now. So yeah, underrated Lethal Weapon in my opinion too, I might add. So thanks, babe, for the movies. I'm gonna move on to one other film before I get to the stuff that I personally bought for myself. And the first movie is, I actually didn't, like I said, I didn't buy this one, but that's kind of the thing about having this huge collection down here with lots of titles that I haven't yet watched, because as you guys probably know, I wasn't just picking up horror films in my heydays of like picking up VHS tapes and stuff like that. I was picking up a lot of classics. Like, that's how I had this one. I got some other ones that, I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know who directed this, let alone, I never even really knew about the film. My girlfriend bought me this, and it's Cruisin' by William Friedkin, who of course directed The Exorcist, who we just talked about in the last episode. He also directed The French Connection. And I'm really pleased that I just randomly pulled this one off the shelf, because I'm down here, I'm like, man, I want to watch some shit I haven't seen down here in the collection. And for some reason, I seen the thing, it said Cruisin', I pulled it out and read the back. And when I bought it, I was obviously ignorant to or when Kayla bought it, she was guaranteed ignorant to the fact that it's directed by William Friedkin. So as soon as I seen that, I was like, man, I definitely got to give this flick a chance, because I love The Exorcist, I love The French Connection. Not 100% on any other films that he's directed offhand right now, William Friedkin, but he's a hell of a fucking director. But basically, Cruising is a cop film, sort of whodunit movie, where Al Pacino plays a cop that goes undercover into the world of like S&M clubs. And there's actually a cool little opener where it says like, like this is just a small segment of the gay community, and it's not like, because there's some insane shit happening in this film. Like, it's very if you don't like gays, so to speak, then I wouldn't watch this film, because you're gonna just puke the whole time. But if you're a fucking actual fan of cinema, fan of art, you can look past that type of bullshit. Just enjoy this film for what it is. And it's got Paul Sorvino from Goodfellas. It's got Joe Spinell from Maniac. He plays this fucking cocksucker cop who, for the first like maybe 45 minutes, they hint that he's not even a cop. He's just a guy impersonating a cop, going around getting trannies to fucking blow him and shit like that. It's fucked up. But I didn't expect to see Joe Spinell in there, and I was like, fuck yeah, this is cool. I can get behind this. Anything to do with New York and Joe Spinell, I will fucking watch. Anything to do with Joe Spinell, period, I'll watch. Yeah, so Cruising, I think that if you're in the mood for like a really, cool kind of off the beaten path movie, like, and what I mean by that is like, if you're a person like me, if you have like the similar interests to me, I think you'll like this film, because I definitely enjoyed it. I will watch it again for sure, like with some time. I think probably the next time that I watch Cruising, I'll do the triple feature. I'll do Cruising, Exorcist, French Connection, the whole Friedkin experience, and on the way discover some new Friedkin films, because I know he's made more. I'm excited to watch more as well. All right, well, moving into to the Boxing Day sales, like on Boxing Day, which is like the day after Christmas, all kinds of shit goes on sale at the malls and stuff. But me and my cousin, we went to the camera store Henry's, and he ended up buying a camera so we can start doing videos. So stay tuned for that. Endomorph Chris is his channel. He's going to be doing like fitness stuff and shit like that. I don't know if you're interested in that, but that's what he's doing. So, but anyways, we ended up at a place called The Beat Goes On, which is a new and used vinyl, video, CD kind of store. Really cool fucking store. But they had 2 box sets that I've been looking at for a while, and one of them had the film Enemy Territory on it, and it had like 2 other films. I think one of them was like an Italian cop drama. Like, it looked pretty fucking dope, but they were $40 per box set, and the other one was a Takashi Miike Dead or Alive trilogy box set, and that was also $40. So I said to myself, fuck, I don't really want to pay $80 for those movies, right? For 6 movies, I don't want to pay $80. And I didn't. And then one day I found out there was a 40% off sale, and I went all the way there, and they were fucking closed. I was pissed. But on Boxing Day, they had another 40% off sale, so I got one of the box sets for $28, I believe, which is way better than $40 plus tax. And that is the Takashi Miike Dead or Alive trilogy, and these covers are fucking awesome. So I first discovered Takashi Miike through, I think, 22 Shots of Moods and Horror, and I immediately randomly found Itchy the Killer at a pawn shop, and I bought it, watched it. I was like, holy fuck. Got a few other Takashi Miike films peppered in the international collection over there, or section rather, and really enjoy his work. But I first discovered the Dead or Alive trilogy on Shudder, because Shudder has just got like fucking, like, if you don't have Shudder, get Shudder. You're fucking up. Unless you can't. Shout out to VZ Madness. I know he can't fucking get it down there. That sucks dick, because I know that it'd save you a lot of money on all those arrows, brother. Because I know this fucking guy, shout out to VZ Madness. This guy is a solid guy. And every fucking time I see him post something, it's like a new arrow film. And it's like all the shit that I want. And I'm like, you cunt. I'm like, god damn it. But yeah, man, I'm loving the whole Japanese cinema, Asian cinema, all that stuff. The thing is, like, it's fucked up when I watch more international films than I do North American. But what the fuck can you do? I can't really talk too much on the Dead or Alive trilogy because I've only watched maybe the first 10 minutes of the first one. Did watch the trailer for the first one last night and thought it looked great. So, yeah, they say that Takashi Miike is like the Japanese Tarantino, only much more faster, which whatever the fuck that means. But going into the final well, box set, I guess you could say, of the video, I almost shit my pants when I found this, and I had to take a picture of the price tag because I know the receipts don't say the original price if it's on sale, and they take the sale stickers off of the DVDs at Cinema One, which just blows my fucking mind. Maybe because, like, I don't know, they don't want people to know that you're fucking retarded and you spent like $90 on a film. So the film in question we're about to talk about is a series of 5 films, and I seen this when it first came out. It's a Criterion. That's right, motherfuckers. I only own one Criterion in this whole collection, and it is from a fucking thrift store, and it's Dazed and Confused, and I don't even have the original case. It's in like a fucking Rogers Video rental case, right? So that's my only Criterion. I almost shit. The original price on this film was $140. It was on sale for $30, and it's the Lone Wolf and Cub box set on Blu-ray by Criterion. Like, what the fuck? Somebody fucked up. Shout out to Odyssey Records here in London, Ontario. He made a comment. Justin, the dude that runs the shop, made a comment on my post, said somebody fucked up, and I agree, somebody fucked up. Part of me wanted to buy like all the copies they had and just try to flip them, but at the same time, I fucking hate having to flip shit, man. I hate it. Like, even when I'm like strapped for cash, like, you know, and having to like maybe sell something, it just sucks dick. So, and my advice is just get a fucking job so you don't have to deal with that shit. Shout out to my job right now. I don't have to work until the 31st, but that fucking sucks dick because the 31st is New Year's Eve. But what can you do? I appreciate everybody for watching the episodes of, you know, the cinema collection, whatever, you know, the videos. So I think we're going to end the video right about here. I appreciate everybody for watching. And like I said in the last video, definitely go ahead and check out the Facebook page, Bluntzillavideo. The link will be in the description. Give it a like. And yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. And adios.